Hello there everybody, my name is Loadout, today here for a quick video to show off the classes I've been using during the tech test. I want to first off mention that I haven't been uploading a ton during the tech test weekends, but that's because I've been recording a lot to have videos ready for the next couple of months until we get to the full game for both Titanfall Legends and Loadout, that is. So with that said, expect a lot more Titanfall 2 content to be on the way. I've just been stockpiling a bunch of footage to put into videos, but with that said, let's start by looking at my pilot classes. So I've got 4 weapons that I really love and I think are the strongest in the game as of now. This could completely be different by the full game, but as of now, this is the best. The Ghost Marksman class here, I really don't use it a lot. I mean, if I ever do, it's because I'm experimenting with different weapons. The Spitfire, I want to mention, by the way, it was my absolute favorite weapon in Titanfall 1, but it's just not as strong compared to these other weapons I've selected. So I mean, if they nerf these other ones, or maybe if they buff the Spitfire, I'll use it more, but I haven't really used the Spitfire as much as I thought I would, at least compared to the first game. But with that said, the R201, it's an absolute beast. I'm sure all of you know that. It's the default weapon that everyone gets to try out first. Well, I mean, it's kind of like the staple that people recognize. I mean, it's the default assault rifle. But anyways, grapple, in my opinion, is probably the best, or if not my second favorite tactical in the game. It really does help you get around, and it seems like the maps, they're not necessarily created to be based around the grapple. Like, for a while I thought that the maps, it was kind of like, oh, you have to use the grapple or otherwise you're at a disadvantage, which I don't know if that's quite as true as I thought it once was, but the grapple definitely does help with traversal. Of course, the frag grenade, it's kind of become a staple. Whenever I get chased, I'll kind of cook a grenade, then throw it off a wall, and then maybe it'll kill an enemy, or maybe if I'm about to die and I know I'm not going to be able to reload my weapon or something, I'll throw down a frag grenade. And yeah, I've just gotten used to using it. I was never a big user of the arc grenade in the first game, and we'll talk about the other ones in a moment here. For the mods, I've got extra ammo. I was always a big fan of that with the extended mag in the first game. And the gun ready, I mean, I'm not that picky. I probably could switch out these other ones, but this is just what I have set up. And the HCOG, I'm excited to see the other sights. And then I've got the Thunderbolt as my anti-Titan weapon. This is kind of my anti-Titan class, I suppose, I'd say. But anyways, going up next to the car, this is definitely my fastest and rushiest class. The car is probably my favorite SMG. I have been liking the alternator, which we'll get to in a moment, but the car's actually decent at medium range. Sometimes you can even get long range kills with it if you pop fire, but the stim has been buffed incredibly in this game, and I mean, I think it's the strongest, probably tied with grapple in my opinion. But yeah, so I've been loving the stim. Frag grenade, to kind of explain that in the last class. And then I've got gun runner here, as I'm gonna be running around a lot. Just thought it would be definitely helpful for that. And the faster reload, this one in particular, I might actually put on gun ready. I'll put that on now. I kind of do transition and switch it up between the second mod here. And then I've got the hollow sight on this as well. RE45, once again, I'm moving around a lot, and if I happen to run out of bullets, I like to finish them off, like to keep that high octane gameplay the entire time while I'm using this. And I've just got the extra ammo, and I don't really get a lot of kills with it, I guess, so I don't have these other attachments unlocked. Oh, I forgot to mention, the power cell, I pretty much use it exclusively at this point. And then same with wall hang. For the most part, I think it's all, yeah, I've got the same thing on this class too. Up next, we have the alternator class, which is pretty gosh darn similar to the car, with the exception of, well, it being the alternator. And also I've got the magnetic grenade launcher instead of the RE45, just because I wanted to also have a rushy anti-Titan class as well. And I was actually never a big fan of the magnetic grenade launcher in the first game, but I feel like it is a bit stronger, and so I've been trying that out. Then also I've got the hover on, which, to be honest, I thought this would be super gimmicky, but it works out sometimes. When I'm getting chased or I'm in a bit of a gunfight, I'll say, well, maybe we both jump in the air or something, and then they'll try to like follow me, expecting me to fall back down, but then it's like, no, I'm still up here, and I've gotten a few kills like that. And I mean, I don't know if it's the most practical. I think I still prefer, as of now, wall hang. I mean, I don't know. The kit 2 is definitely the weakest, I'd say, out of the selectable options. But anyways, this is what I got going on. Pretty similar playstyle to the car, definitely very fast paced. Then finally we've got my Mastiff class, which I guess is actually pretty close to the other classes. I mean, of course there's not a lot of options right now, but I do play very fast paced with this, as you really should with a shotgun. Biggest difference, I guess, is I've tried out the Gravity Star, and the first weekend I felt like it was pretty weak, and I don't know if I'm just going crazy or if they actually did something to it, but I think they might have buffed it a little bit to the second weekend here, because it does seem to have a bit of a stronger pull to it. You don't have to be quite as dead on as it felt like you had to be on the first weekend. But yeah, the Gravity Star, it is pretty cool. I don't know how practical it is. You can't quite get a kill if the enemy is at 100% health, but if you have already shot them a time or two, then you are able to finish them off with the Gravity Star, and then it works very well against minions as well. Mastiff, I think, is incredibly strong. It is a bit inconsistent at times, but when you do get your shot on, it typically will get them. I mean, the range is also kind of weird. Back to that inconsistent thing I just said. It feels like sometimes you can get a super crazy shot, and then sometimes the shots won't connect. That might just be a network issue, but yeah, I have been a big fan of the Mastiff. And then I've got the Gun Runner, Speed Reloader. I like to keep that high octane, as I keep mentioning, keep referring to that. The Hollow Sight, I mean, I don't know, this is not really the most necessary. A lot of the times I am hip firing, but the stock sights, they're pretty good as well on this weapon. RE45, just if I am not able to kill an enemy, let's say I get a good shot on them, but I'm out of shells, then I can quickly switch over and finish them off. And Gun Runner and extra ammo on that. And then Power Cell, I mean, I want to get that tactical ready, I like to keep that high. I'm not going to say octane, I like to keep that speed up. And finally, Wall Hang, as I said, I don't know, I could probably switch this out for anything. I really think Kit 2 is not that good right now from the options we have. Then finally, for my Titan kits, I've got Overcore for Ion, as I don't ever use Auto Titan, ever. Like, I'd say about 99% of the time I'm actually using my Titan. And then Turbo Dash, I've already got a dash on Ion, so I thought it was good enough. For Titan Kit, I've got the Bubble Shield, as I don't really have a use for Warp Fall, and I usually like to run to my Titan and just make sure he's protected. And yeah, I think Bubble Shield's the best, in my opinion, between those two. Then finally, for Ion Kit, I've got the Vortex Amplifier, as I don't really have a use, once again, for Entangled Energy. And then, finally, here for Scorch, under the Titan kit, I do have one extra dash, as I do like to have a bit of mobility. And, of course, the whole thing about Scorch is that he's the slowest, but most protected. He's got the most armor, but I still do like to have that little mobility, so I've got that on for him. Then, once again, Bubble Shield, and then Wildfire Launcher, as, I mean, I definitely use the shield, but I also think that the Thermite Launcher could be sort of buffed in general a little bit, and I think this definitely does help to a certain extent. But with all that said, expect a lot more videos on the way. I'm going to be editing a lot this weekend from all the footage that I've recorded, and I've got a lot of really cool videos coming up. So with that said, have yourself an absolutely fantastic day. My name is Dude, and I'm going to miss you, Titanfall 2 Tech Test. We've all got each other, everyone. We've all got each other for the next 2 months to make it until the full game comes out. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.